folks, yesterday, Alpha Return Incorporated, my friend Mustafa's as well, sent this out on social media. Jaylen Burns, 21-year-old kid, turned 22 next month, out of Chicago area, shot and killed at an apartment in Jackson, Mississippi. It took place over homecoming weekend, according to Channel 7 out of Chicago. Jaylen actually went with the frat brother to his ex-girlfriend's house to get his things out. Jaylen was simply helping his brother. Well, the girlfriend invited some other people over to the apartment. Fight breaks out. Jaylen is trying to break up the fight. He gets shot and killed. This is the third shooting that's taken place at the HBCU homecoming in the last couple of weeks. So the shooting in Morgan State, the shooting at Bowie State as well. Interim president of Jackson State University issued this statement today.
Greetings, JSU family, alumni, and community. I believe most of you have heard by now that we experienced the tragic passing of student Jaylen Burns. Jaylen was a Chicago native and an industrial technology major with a brilliant future ahead of him. This loss is devastating and unfathomable to the JSU community. It does not represent who we are as a Tiger family or a place in higher education. It further undercuts our mission to cultivate an environment where students come to learn and to evolve as individuals and free thinkers. We are committed to uplifting Jaylen's memory and using it to propel us forward in love and unity. This matter is still under investigation. If you have further information, please contact the Jackson State University Office of Public Safety. Together, we are still JSU strong.
Again, he's supposed to turn 22 next month. Randy, I can't imagine if you're from the Chicago area, we talk about the violence that happens there all the time. You raise a son, you send him off to college, and you send him to an HBCU, he's returning home in a coffin.
It's unfathomable. It is heartbreaking, you know, as a mother who has two sons that go to an HBCU, or one has graduated. I can't imagine. You know, you feel such joy when your children enter into college, that you have made it, that you've gotten them out, and you don't even imagine that something like this can happen. Our schools need to band together and figure out some real tough plans to prevent this from going on. There was also a shooting at my alma mater, Tuskegee University, recently. Well, you know, on outside the grounds, but still. And so we're having issues. I mean, we just have to be very honest about these issues and become very, you know, work on our security. You know, talk to the students about, you know, how to protect themselves. You know, I mean, it's sad, but we really do need to. We can't just feel sad. We have to take some action so this will not continue anymore.
I mean, this is the thing, Mustafa, that we're dealing with. We're dealing with people who are walking around who believe that carrying guns and pulling them out is the way to solve disputes.
Yeah, it's become a part of the culture now. I know folks don't ever want to talk about that. You know, we live in a country with 400 million guns. 26,000 people have been killed so far this year, been murdered by firearms. And we also know inside of our community that, you know, we've got some self-hate that's going on. And oftentimes, instead of just taking a moment and thinking about a situation, folks will react. You know, folks will react. The young lady who invited people over when she knew other folks were coming over probably should have thought differently. We've just got to be smart as young men also about the places that we go. And that's not to put any blame on the brothers who were there, but we have to be smart because we're no longer live in a society where people are valuing each other. So one, we got to change the dynamics around how many guns are out there. And two, we've got to begin to find ways of better loving ourselves inside of our community.
Absolutely. Suzette, your thoughts?
Yeah, I just look at this in the greater context of what's going on in America, right? We know that the mass shooting phenomenon is a countrywide problem, not just one that is reflected in the Black community. As we are a part of this great experiment, we too are affected by that culture. As of September 17th, I think we were just passing 500 mass shootings for the entire country. So looking at these succession of shootings at Black colleges and universities, it's just very disheartening and quite ironic that you send your child away, as you talked about, with a sense of pride and promise to a college and university, and for something as tragic as this to happen is unfathomable. So my heart goes out to these families. I do admonish the administration to look at their security measures during homecoming, because it's not just students, everybody's on campus. People come from near and far who are both alumni and non-alumni to enjoy these events. This one specifically was a kind of interpersonal issue, but in general, looking at what happened and the other two shootings, I think we also have to look again at campus safety, revisit that issue. And then, as Mustafa just pointed out, that interpersonal violence, we need to really talk about that within our communities and within our culture, other ways to resolve disputes so that we don't turn to gun violence and things don't end as tragically as they have for this family.